Life is short and you want to pack in as much as you can while you live, rather than just exist.
I was always dreaming about very powerful people, dictators and things like that. I was just always impressed by people who could be remembered for hundreds of years.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had everything: fame, power, and a legacy carved through relentless discipline. But behind the glory he felt as a husband and father, the grip of success held him tight, whispering that enough would never be enough.
Everybody likes to be wanted and needed and appreciated. Some people only have it in a limited way, by just being loved by their family. Some people like more than that. I'm one of them. I want to stand up there, I want to have thousands of people applauding me and recognizing me, that I am the best. And that's it. What I obviously try to do is to show the public that, and also the judges, that a big body can move gracefully. That's what you want to do. You want to show a lot of muscularity, you want to show size, but at the same time you want to show grace. This together makes the champion. So that's what I try to do. I take a lot of ballet lessons. Ballet teachers teach me how to move the hands gracefully and how to look convincing on stage and proud and as the king, and that's what you learn. Of course I'm the king, but you also have to get across that you're the king.
Judges are looking for such things as proportion, symmetry, definition, and separation of muscles.
You have to have the kind of a mind as a sculptor has, because a sculptor has to do the same thing. He has to look at his art and say, well, it's still not in proportion. I have to take a little bit away here, or I have to put more on here.
The event brought together some of the most prominent art historians in the world to watch bodybuilding.
You get mentally in touch with your body very much through bodybuilding, and you get a great relationship between mind and body.
In many ways, bodybuilding is closer to art than sport, more like ballet than football. Yet athletes and artists share the same curse. No matter how far they go, they're never enough.
I never really was satisfied with my body. I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, I don't know how this body can ever win.
Were people using steroids in those days?
Oh, sure.
Did you ever use them yourself?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
At just 20 years old in 1967, Arnold became the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And with that title, he finally held the ticket to America he'd been dreaming of.
So I all of a sudden get this invitation from Joe Weider. He was like the guru of bodybuilding. He created bodybuilding.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Flight 1977, destination the American Dream. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your posture upright and ergonomic. You see, even Arnold had to leave home to chase something bigger. And like him, sometimes you've got to upgrade your seat before you take off. My old chair, too many heavy sets. Every hour felt like turbulence for my spine. Then came the C7 Morpher, the first-class seat of chairs. Its backrest moves with you like a perfect training partner. The inflatable lumbar support spots your posture. The 360 rotating armrests move with you for all their comfort. And the forward tilt tech keeps you locked in through long edits. And up here in the cockpit, stability is everything. That's where my FlexiSpot 7 Plus comes in. Its 4-point design spreads force evenly, giving it the kind of stability and strength that handles more weight than Arnold in his prime. With a 10-year warranty, 60-day free return and reasonable price, it's more reliable than most flight schedules. One touch, I go from sitting to standing, tired to focused. So whether you're building your dream body, your business, or your next big idea, make sure your workspace can keep up with you. And just before we land, a quick heads up. The Black Friday sale kicks off on the 28th with up to 50% cashback and big deals on the E7 Pro and C7 Morpher. Stock is limited, so it's first come, first served. The link's in the description. Enjoy the flight.
Picked me up and took me to an apartment that Joe Weider rented for me. Then the next thing I knew was that the people from Gold Chimp came to my apartment and started giving me dishes and silverware and pillowcases and blankets and a radio and all of that stuff. I mean, I literally had tears in my eyes. I've never had this kind of a generosity.
Back to Sacramento, girls keep their skin tan like a preso.
They really absorbed me. They really took me with open arms, brought me into the bodybuilding community, into the Gold's Gym community. The gym itself became kind of a large family, a place where I belonged, kind of thing. I would work out a lot of times outside in the weightlifting platform in Venice. Then we would jump in the ocean again, come back and work out some more.
When I came to America, I remember that the things that people complained about, I thought were absolutely fantastic. To me, everything was just so wonderful, and I became like the most enthusiastic spokesperson for America.
What an amazing country.
I went to college, I went and worked out 5 hours a day, and I was working on construction, because in those days in bodybuilding there was no money.
In the 70s, Arnold was untouchable. No one could reach him.
All Mr. Universes from the past 5 years or so come get together in one contest and to find out who's the best. So they created the Mr. Olympia contest, and whoever wins that is the top bodybuilder.
You are the top bodybuilder.
Right, yeah.
How long have you been the top bodybuilder?
Well, I've not been beaten for the last 7 years.
The greatest, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But rising that high often means giving up a part of what makes us human.
My mother called me on the phone and she said, your dad died. And this was exactly 2 months before a contest. She says, do you come home to the funeral? I said, no. It's too late, he's dead, there's nothing to be done. And I'm sorry, I can't come,
In order to make it, you said, in bodybuilding, you try to keep your emotions as low as you can. You want to protect yourself so nothing can get to you. When you want to be a champion, you have to be very cold.
You don't feel any emotion about it one way or another?
No. I have to stay functional until the mission is complete. The thing that can really make you lose is if you get emotionally unbalanced. If I put everything that's happening emotionally on deep freeze, I lived in denial, my whole life. It's always like whenever I felt pain or anything like this, it was like I forgot about it. I dismiss it.
You carry it too far, what it winds up doing is just cutting you off from the possibility of having a really fundamental reciprocal human relationship with somebody else.
So what?
You don't care about that?
No.
What makes one guy a champion, one person a champion, and the other one not?
It's drive. It's the will. There's certain people that grow up with a tremendous hunger, and it's usually kids that have struggled when they were kids.
I grew up in Austria. I was born after the Second World War in 1947. It was poverty. There was no food around.
With 15, I already had to pay to live at home. I mean, I made 300 shilling a month as an apprentice, and 100 shilling I had to give my parents so I could get the food. My father was very strict. We were hit many times and punished for not doing the things the way they thought we should do things. My father would come home drunk once or twice a week, and he would scream and hit us and scare my mother. He was a victim of the Second World War, meaning that he was dragged into the war, became a soldier, a Nazi officer, was shot at in Stalingrad.
I developed such a tremendous desire to get out of there, to make it in life, to achieve big things. And then when I learned in school later on about America and about the skyscrapers, the big freeways, the big cars and all that, I said to myself, I want to be part of this big thing.
So I went in the military because after you go and serve in the military, then you can get your passport, you can travel. And then I go to Munich and I become a trainer there. Now then, I can train
anytime, 24 hours a day, because I actually lived in the gym.
In one word only, how did a small town boy from Austria become one of the most famous people on earth?
Dream. I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids. But I was rich because I had a dream.
You had a dream?
I had a dream of becoming the greatest bodybuilder, and I had a dream to use bodybuilding as a means to get into films.
I won the world championships so many times now that I would like to go on, try to be the best in something else.
Like what?
I would like to get into acting.
When I went the first time into an agent's office and I said, I want to become an actor, can you help me? The guy looked at me and he said, listen, you have a weird body, you have a weird name, and you have a weird accent. He says, forget it.
Yeah.
Just go back to bodybuilding. My body, my choice.
When they said no, it actually gave me fuel to show them that I can do it.
Hey!
And I started, working on it on my speech classes and accent removal classes.
I am tired of the same old faces, the same old things.
Acting classes, English classes, and all those kind of things.
I'm not afraid of failure, because I think those people that are afraid of failure are frozen and they're afraid to make a move.
I started working my way up until I got finally Conan the Barbarian and Commander and Predator and all this, and I was on a roll.
What the hell are you? But then what really broke the next level of ice was Terminator.
A machine.
It is really a question now, at what point will machines become self-aware, like in Terminator?
It becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th. In a panic, they try to pull the plug.
Skynet fights back.
Yes, it launches its missiles against the targets in Russia.
Why attack Russia? Aren't they our friends now?
Because Skynet knows that the Russian counterattack will eliminate its enemies over here.
Jesus.
And then they make a Terminator 2, and then that went through the roof and became the most successful movie of the year.
Hasta la vista, baby.
People then started offering me regular parts as an action hero.
Now you're a major star in this country, aren't you?
Oh, thank you.
People came to me and said, this Terminator movie would have never worked if you wouldn't have had that accent, because you sounded like a robot. The Conan movies never would have worked if you wouldn't have had an accent or the body. And then the name Schwarzenegger, after people remember the name, they would never be able to forget it. What an asset, how strong. And so it all turned around.
I'll be back.
Maria Shriver and Arnold Schwarzenegger had a big wedding in Hyannisport in 1986. The birth of their first of 4 children came just as Arnold's movie career hit the stratosphere.
Maria Shriver of the CBS Morning News.
CBS Morning News.
And also one of the most famous families in America.
Here is this girl from an intellectual family, from the royal family, practically, of America, marrying Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilder. What do they have in common?
I met Maria in the 70s, and she brought me home to her family, which was the Shriver family, the Kennedy family. And there I heard all the time dialogue about, public service, about helping kids, helping people with their health care, or issues. And I said to myself, I never thought about any of that. This is crazy. This is like unbelievable that they have people that dedicate themselves to just how to help other people.
When you recognize that you're not self-made, that people have helped you, that is what makes you then click and say, I got to now help other people.
And I felt so rich and so good about myself that I was able to have this impact and to help kids to get, in schools to exercise, Special Olympians to train and to do powerlifting, to lift 500 pounds, which they never dreamt of lifting, and to go around and start after-school programs.
Got a lot of joy out of them, and I learned a lot from them. I think I maybe learned more from them than they learned from me.
For the first time, he felt the impact of serving others. And when California turned to a recall election in 2003, a new vision for his life emerged.
It was all kinds of things that started mounting to anger in California. And all of a sudden, there was a recall. I said to myself, that is a clear signal from somewhere above that if I want to run, this is the time to run.
A vision of his future Maria wasn't happy about at all.
She, as a child, was dragged along to all those political campaigns if she wanted it or not. So she hated it.
She started shaking, and she had tears in her eyes. And I realized that I was stepping into something that was much deeper than just me running and her being a supportive wife.
By now, Arnold had achieved everything a man could dream of. He could have devoted himself to being a great husband and father. But the crib of success wouldn't let him rest.
Bringing showbiz to politics, Arnold Schwarzenegger chose the Jay Leno Tonight Show to announce he's running for office.
He's failing them terribly. And this is why he needs to be recalled. And this is why I'm going to run for governor of the state of
When you ran for governor, there were charges, all kinds of charges of groping and grabbing women.
Evidence that he groped women all over, everywhere, all the time is so incontrovertible.
And Maria went up and down the state and vouched for you.
You can listen to all the negativity, and you can listen to people who have never met Arnold or who met him for 5 seconds 30 years ago. Or you can listen to me. And as a Democrat, I'm totally comfortable supporting him.
Isn't it odd that 3 days and 4 days before the campaign, all of a sudden all these women want to have an apology? Isn't it odd?
And I have done things that were not right, which I thought then was playful, but now I recognize that I have offended people. And to those people that I have offended, I want to say to them, I'm deeply sorry about that, and I apologize, because this is not what I tried to do.
Throughout the campaign, Arnold's words shifted: confession, denial, apology. Yet none of it seemed to sway the outcome of the election.
And I heard the commentator saying, Governor Gray Davies has been recalled,
well and faithfully discharged,
and our new governor will be Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger. When I heard that, I literally had tears coming down my eyes. It was the most powerful thing that I ever felt.
This is an amazing moment for me. To think that a once scrawny boy from Austria could grow up to become governor of the state of California and then stand here. Ladies and gentlemen, America is back. Back from the attack on our homeland, back from the attack on our economy, and back from the attack on our way of life. We are back because of the perseverance, character, and leadership of the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush.
Yes, I was conservative. Yes, I'm a Republican. But I'm not stuck in this ideological corner. And I didn't look at the Democrats as the enemy. I always felt kind of like in order to make this work, you have to have Democrats and Republicans work together.
It was the most challenging, but the most rewarding and pleasurable thing to do.
By the end of his term, Arnold had one of the lowest approval ratings in California's history, while the state's debt had tripled. Nevertheless, he achieved something rare, bridging the divide between Republicans and Democrats. But for Maria and the kids, life at home suffered.
It was really a lot of strain on the marriage. And Maria has warned me in the beginning that a lot of relationships, when you're a politician, have a tendency of falling apart. I came home and all of a sudden one of my kids started crying. and saying, Daddy, you didn't come to my recital. And then all of a sudden the next kid said, yeah, and you didn't come to my football game. And yeah, and then my daughter was saying, yeah, and you didn't come to my dance, and you're never around. And then all of a sudden, all of the kids were crying. And Maria was saying, go ahead, just express yourself, kids. I think Daddy needs to hear that.
Did anybody ever say to you, like, your family be like, don't do this, dude. Don't.
Look, this was very tough on Maria.
Sure.
This was very tough on my children. It was very tough on some of my friends and everything like that. I disappointed all of them. Have I ever lied to my wife?
Don't tell me now.
Why would I tell you?
We'll find out when we get back. We'll find out when we get back.
Shocking revelations from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Their 25-year marriage came to an end with a whimper. A bombshell disclosure from Schwarzenegger himself. More than a decade ago, he secretly fathered a child with a household employee. Apparently, Schwarzenegger has been keeping this secret for years.
So you've never told any lies to the wife?
Or not that I can remember.
No.
She remained your housekeeper,
That's right.
even after you realized it.
He started looking like me. So that's when I kind of got it, that it was never discussed, but I mean, I put the things together here.
Joseph was born almost the same time as Maria and Arnold's fourth child. A smiling Maria celebrated Joseph's christening, clearly unaware.
And it was one of those things we talked about, you know, denial. I kind of put it away and just said to myself, okay, I'm going to put this away. I'm
How
going to
can you
fulfill
put
my
it away?
responsibility.
You have a
It's
child.
I know, but that's just the way I operate.
The day after you left the governorship, Maria confronted you in a therapist's office, but she had actually come to you about the affair and the possibility of a child many years before, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you admit to it then?
Well, I just did not know how to. I was just, I think, too scared about losing everything, losing her, losing the family.
So you lied to her.
You can say that.
She gave up her television career for you. I mean, wow.
I apologized many times to her.
Did she ever
I asked
forgive
her
you?
for forgiveness.
Have your children forgiven you?
I cannot tell you, but I hope they will. And you know, as time goes on, I hope that everyone will forgive me for that.
When you have money, power, and sex, you have an explosive cocktail mix that results in such behavior, but it's aided and abetted by the fact that a lot of the people who are in power are arrogant. They come to believe they're untouchable.
Is that the only affair?
No, I had others, but I mean, you know, that's something that's obviously between Maria and me.
So what's his life been like since the scandal? Well, he's not hiding. He's out there on the red carpet promoting one of the 5 movies he's signed up to make.
I'm back.
He's trying to go back in time to the days when he was Hollywood's biggest action hero. If you have had a failure in life, you just erase it. You don't think about it and just keep going.
I don't dwell on it. Dwelling on it like some people do, you know, years later they say, oh yeah, I lost this and I would never forget that, I'm still suffering. No, that's not me. I don't suffer of anything that I've lost.
What is it with you? I'm
I don't
serious.
know.
You don't know?
That's the way I handle things, and it always has worked. But I mean, it's not the best thing for people around me.
We have feelings. We hurt. We're afraid. You gotta learn this stuff. I'm not kidding. It's important.
Arnold might say he lived a successful life, yet all achievements stayed on the outside. The ones he loved never had his full commitment. And only as everything collapses does the crib of success slowly release, letting him realize what really counts. Family.
Of course I would do things differently. I think the biggest screw-up was in my personal life with my marriage, and I regret that, obviously. And you know, I felt bad for the family, that the family has broken up because of that. And now we are trying to hold it together, and on important days, if it is, you know, Easter or Christmas or birthdays. And I'm so lucky that Maria was such an extraordinary mother. I was a lot of times gone, and she did an extraordinary job. So a lot of credit should go to her. The majority of the credit should go to her. We're very, very proud of our kids. I mean, they're extraordinary. But Catherine, I mean, I'm so proud of her, of what a woman she has become. And so is with Christina, with my other daughter. Christopher is also in show business. He's, working for a production company. And Patrick, of course, we're very proud of him. Then I have one son outside the marriage, which is Joseph. And Joseph is also doing terrific. I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering, through pain, through crying periods. All of that stuff, don't shy away from any of that because it just makes you stronger.
I always was interested to work towards something that is bigger than me, something that is going to be around much longer than me. I'm going to be gone one day, but bodybuilding should not be gone.
Why would I retire from what? From giving a speech about hate? Going to the movie set and doing, FUBAR? Why would I retire from that? I had the greatest time doing that. Or go to university and talk about climate change or something. So, no, I mean, retirement is not part of my program at all, no.
I'll be back. Und warum? Weil nämlich Leben nicht nur Victories sind, nicht nur Erfolge sind, wo man gewinnt und so weiter. Leben ist auch Verluste, dass man ab und zu fällt. Und das Wichtigste ist, dass, wenn das passiert, dass man dann sofort wieder aufsteht und weiterkämpft.